Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Canny Awards for the Ontario region. My name is Catherine Clark. I am a proud entrepreneur and member of the Startup Canada community. And on behalf of the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation, thank you all for joining us at the first event of the Canny Awards digital series presented by Sovereign Insurance and UPS. It is an honor for us to recognize outstanding Canadian entrepreneurs and innovators while bringing inspiration through their stories of leadership and resilience. As an entrepreneur myself and a champion for the entrepreneurship community, I'm really thrilled to be your host for tonight's program. From Toronto and all of the GTA to Ottawa, from Kitchener-Waterloo to Windsor, Ontario has one of Canada's most vibrant entrepreneurial communities. The Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation is a national charity that is dedicated to educating and promoting innovation and entrepreneurship among aspiring and well-established business owners in marginalized communities. Its flagship program, the Canada Innovation and Entrepreneurship Awards, also known as the Canny Awards, recognizes excellence in Canadian innovation and entrepreneurship, ensuring the legacy of the two powerhouses that made this foundation possible. And those are Startup Canada, Canada's entrepreneurship organization, and the prestigious Ernest C. Manning Innovation Awards, which enhanced the Canadian innovation landscape for almost 4 decades. Now, before we get started, let us have a look at what the Canny Awards are all about.
Canada is a nation of innovators and entrepreneurs, working together to build a better tomorrow. And the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation is committed to celebrating the Canadians leading the charge. With presenting support from UPS Canada and Sovereign Insurance, and national support from MasterCard and Scotiabank, the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation is pleased to welcome you to the first annual Canada Innovation and Entrepreneurship Awards, the Canny Awards. The Canny Awards are the merging of the prestigious Ernest C. Manning Innovation Awards, celebrating creators and disruptors since 1981, along with the Startup Canada Awards that have collectively recognized the achievements of over 650 entrepreneurs and innovators across Canada. The Canny Awards are our pledge to celebrate and share the stories of Canada's visionaries, community builders, and innovative thinkers. This year, we're presenting the Canny Awards digitally and focusing on hope, learning, and resiliency. To help entrepreneurs come together and be inspired to build a better, brighter future. On behalf of our partners and all of us at the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation, welcome to the 2020 Canny Awards.
We are so glad that you've chosen to join us for these awards. And this year, with a series of 5 online broadcasts, we're bringing you the Canny Awards from the comfort of your own home. And of course, with one very special purpose in mind, to recognize and be inspired by the impressive journeys and achievements of disruptors, those who contribute every day to the country's entrepreneurial landscape, and especially during these difficult times. A special thank you, of course, to our frontline health workers and those who support them. In fact, frontline workers of all kinds. We offer you our deepest and most heartfelt thanks for risking your lives to save ours across the country and around the world. Now, the format of this year's ceremony is pretty simple. We have 5 regional awards programs, including Ontario, British Columbia, the Prairies, Atlantic Canada, and Quebec. Regional winners will then move on to the national awards taking place this fall. This evening, we will be announcing Ontario's regional winners. They will each be given an award and will join us for a Q&A discussion with me, yours truly. The objectives of the awards are truly to recognize excellence in innovation and entrepreneurship across Canada by celebrating the impressive journeys and achievements of disruptors that contribute every day to the country's entrepreneurial landscape. Across Canada, we also want to increase awareness of the importance of strengthening Canada's entrepreneurship ecosystem and culture. And of course, we want to inspire Canada's present and future generations to be entrepreneurial innovators by sharing stories of leadership, resilience, disruption, and success in entrepreneurship. We hope that the entrepreneurs recognized tonight will truly inspire you. Now, as we all know, through public policies and advocacy, the government can play a key role in creating an environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, to deliver the opening remarks tonight. Welcome, Premier Ford. We're delighted to have you with us.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm excited to join you tonight. Thank you to all the organizers of the CANI Awards for pulling together such a fantastic event to recognize our all-star innovators and business leaders. I say it all the time, we have some of the best and brightest minds here in Ontario and Canada. During the recent COVID-19 outbreak, it has been inspiring to see how Ontario businesses have quickly adapted to new challenges with creative solutions. Whether it's retooling their business, inventing a new product, or adapting their business to protect the health and safety of staff and customers, our entrepreneurs are shining examples during this dark time. It's that kind of spirit, the Ontario spirit, that will get us through this. Our business leaders are constantly innovating and adapting to new surroundings, and the CANI Awards is proof of that. You're doing a fantastic job. A huge congratulations to all the award winners. Thank you, stay safe, and God bless.
Thank you, Premier Ford, for being with us tonight, especially during such busy and challenging times. And now is the moment we have all been waiting for. I am delighted to begin the presentation of the 2020 Ontario CANI Awards winners. This year, for the CANI Awards National Tour, we are presenting 8 CANI Awards in each region under 4 categories. 1 for organizations advancing the culture and environment for entrepreneurship in Canada, and 2 for exemplifying the spirit of Canadian innovation. The 3rd is for individuals demonstrating excellence in entrepreneurship. The 4th, the final category, is for outstanding impact and enduring legacy in Canadian entrepreneurship and innovation. The first category presents the Enterprise Support Award in recognition of organizations that have excelled in their work to advance the culture and environment for entrepreneurship in Canada. On behalf of the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation, I am thrilled to present the Ontario Region winner of the Enterprise Support Award, Innovation Guelph. Since incorporating in 2011, Innovation Guelph has supported over 1,130 high-potential startups and small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, to start, grow, and thrive, creating jobs and expanding trade opportunities for Ontario companies. In the past 4 years, 130 businesses have received over $2.1 million in seed funding through the programs, and entrepreneurs have received over 24,000 hours of one-on-one mentor and industry specialist support since 2011. Please join me in welcoming Anne Toner-Fung, CEO of Innovation Guelph. Welcome.
Thank you, Catherine. So everyone at Innovation Guelph is beyond excited to receive this award, and I'm thrilled to be here representing the entire team.
And we are just so delighted for you, and we thank you for joining us as the first recipient of the 2020 CANI Awards. It's pretty exciting. Well, congratulations. And, Innovation Guelph really has become a cornerstone of Guelph's development, thanks to your vision and a team supporting local entrepreneurs and doing that tirelessly. One of the things that I understand is that supporting women entrepreneurs has been a key part of Innovation Guelph's mission since its inception. And it would be really lovely to hear more about that and the outcomes of the women-focused initiatives of organizations. There's even one called Rise, and maybe you can give us some specific examples too. We're pretty interested to hear all about it.
Okay, well, yeah, so we were very honored recently to receive an award from the Lang School of Business at the University of Guelph in recognition of our contribution to gender equity and more specifically our RISE programming. So RISE, spelled R-H-Y-Z-E, actually ties together a number of things. Guelph is the center of agricultural innovation for Canada, and RISE actually comes from the idea of rhizome, which is a type of plant that grows a very robust root system that's actually connected underneath the ground. And so that's reflective of women who function in a very rooted and connected way. And that's where the name of RISE programming came from. So our commitment is ongoing to supporting women entrepreneurs. We are very proud that across all of our programs, we've reached gender parity, even in sectors that are traditionally underrepresented by women. But basically, we support entrepreneurs of all genders. We just happen to have some very deep expertise when it comes to supporting women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and it's really terrific to hear about those kinds of important steps that you're taking to support women. And indeed, you really are supporting entrepreneurs of all kinds. You're an innovation hub, and it's an area that has specific expertise in supporting manufacturing and agri-innovation and clean tech companies as well in your thriving community. It would be very interesting to know how some of those types of businesses are pivoting right now to support perhaps the development of new technology related to COVID-19, because that's what a lot of businesses are facing, having to grapple with how to adapt right now.
Absolutely. And actually, we've been blown away by the number of client companies who have responded in this situation with COVID-19, either to contribute to the response, in some cases by completely pivoting their business model, or to learn how to survive and thrive in spite of the situation. So we've had both.
Give me a sense of how you have been encouraging them to see this as an opportunity to innovate. I would imagine that for a lot of companies, innovation is just a natural element of who and what they are, and you know, that's part of being an entrepreneur, isn't it? But on the other hand, these are shocking times, and you must be really working actively with your clients to say, this is an opportunity. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you're doing that?
Actually, that's really interesting, because in the first month or so after things kind of went into lockdown, we were having regular conversations with the companies that we support, and almost across the board, we were getting this deer in the headlights paralysis response, where it was just like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I don't know what we're going to do. What's going to happen? Contracts are being canceled. Sales are dropping. I've had to shut my doors, whatever the circumstances were. And what we found, we implemented a 1-hour COVID-19 strategy session, which was really 1 hour to let them put all their fears on the table, identify what was really an issue versus what they're getting all caught up in, right? To think about, is this an opportunity to do something new and different? So in what way can we actually capitalize on this opportunity? That 1 hour focused attention was typically enough to clear the cobwebs for people.
Yeah, sometimes people need a little bit of help. We all need a little bit of help seeing when you can't see the forest for the trees. So excellent advice. Exactly. You know, we're just delighted for you, and we thank you, Anne, for sharing these great insights about your community and the work that's being done there, incredible work that's being done there on the innovation front, especially through times of crisis. And congratulations to your entire team on this award.
Thank you. I wish they could all be here behind me right now.
Well, they're with you in spirit.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anne. The first two awards in exemplifying the spirit of Canadian innovation are presented by UPS, aka United Problem Solvers, and they are awarded to Canadian companies exhibiting excellence in their global presence, innovation, and growth. UPS is a long-time supporter of the startup community, helping startups go global. Please join me in welcoming Paul Gaspar, Director of Small Business at UPS Canada.
Bring us your baffling.
Bring us your audacious.
We want your sticky notes, sketchbooks, and scribbles. Let's pin them to the wall, kick them around.
Kick them around, see what happens.
Because we're in the how do I get this startup off the ground business.
The taking your business, global business.
We're in the problem-solving business. 400,000 people.
Ready to help you solve problems while they're still called opportunities.
From figuring it out to getting it done.
We're here to help.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to join you all tonight. UPS is proud to be co-presenting sponsor of the first annual Canadian Innovation and Entrepreneurship Awards, also known as the CANI Awards, by the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation. Through our strong partnership over the course of many years with Startup Canada, and now with the CANI Awards, which brings together the Manning Innovation Awards and the Startup Canada Awards, we have directly supported thousands of entrepreneurs through a variety of programs aimed at supporting global growth and innovation. At UPS, we know that barriers entrepreneurs face when starting and scaling up. So with our innovative services, competitive rates, more access to customers in Canada and abroad, and taking every action to ensure the safety of our customers and employees, UPS is determined to making running a business easier and more rewarding. On behalf of UPS, I'm thrilled to present the winner of the 2020 Global Entrepreneurship Award for the Ontario region to Sampler. Sampler is the leading direct-to-consumer product sampling platform, helping brands like L'Oreal and Nestle deliver thousands of samples online and gather the insights they need to build one-to-one relationships with customers. Since its inception in 2013 in her home city, Toronto, Marie Chevier, founder and CEO, has worked tirelessly to develop the ultimate product sampling solution while building an inclusive and diverse workplace where more than half of their 26 full-time employees are women. Sampler has skyrocketed by increasing revenue by, get this, 1,333% over the past 3 years, while working with over 300 CPG brands in 24 countries and reaching over 50 million consumers. Again, congratulations to Sampler, and back to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Paul, and welcome, Marie. Congratulations. It's so great to have you with us.
Thank you so much. We're so excited. Thank you so much for the honor.
That's a big award to be the recipient of the Global Entrepreneurship Award. And you've really demonstrated that Sampler is a global game changer in the consumer packaged goods landscape. We're just thrilled to have the opportunity to hear a little bit more about your story. So I guess I'd love to start with how you decided, how you came about with the idea to create a solution that's now used by hundreds of consumer packaged goods companies around the world.
Yeah, so I started my career actually as a brand ambassador while in college, handing out free product samples on street corners. And even back then, it really stuck with me that when you hand a product to a consumer, whether it's at an event or in a grocery store, they really end up leaving with the product, and we lose touch with them, and we don't understand exactly how that sample converted to a positive experience or to a purchase. So really, the initial insight was about making product sampling, more targeted and more measurable. And ever since then, obviously my career has taken me a few paths, but eventually took me to finally building Sampler as of 2013.
What an achievement. And, I think that idea of following up and finding out what people actually think about the product that they've walked away from really is a unique element of what you do. And I wonder how you make Sampler stand out so clearly in a highly competitive advertisement field.
Yeah, so for us, it's all about product experiences. So this is a sampler box. So ultimately, for you as a consumer, you can go to sampler.io and you can register and you can create a profile. And when you do, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up matching you with products that really are a match to your lifestyle. So, potentially it's this awesome gum that I'm receiving, and potentially it's, gluten-free bread because I'm gluten-free. So every single sample box is personalized to the consumer. And really our job is to create this personalized relationship between that new product and that consumer.
I'm totally going to go and do that because that looks amazing, Marie.
It's not a hard sell, right? Free product samples, everyone loves them.
You bet. Well, and as a company that succeeded at going global, and you've done that incredibly well. Which are the major challenges that you faced, and what would you recommend to other companies that are trying to scale beyond Canada? What do they need to do to prepare for the kind of journey that they'd like to go on that really echoes yours?
For sure. For us, it was right from the beginning, we decided that we were going to work with leading brands. And so focusing on brands that have global operations. And so we knew that, we would have to help our customers like L'Oreal or Kraft Heinz not only operate in North America, but also beyond. And so, one of my biggest advice would be, be very clear on, what you can chew. So for us, for example, in Europe, our offering is a limited offering. We don't offer every single line of product there, but we do have a limited offering there. So take small baby steps, but obviously having a global appeal is a great achievement, and we're so excited about it, and constantly moving to make more of our products available there as well.
Sure. Now, globally, there's no escaping the fact that so many companies are going through really difficult times because of COVID-19. Can you talk to us about a time when Sampler has faced hardship, and give us a sense of what you did to help overcome it through innovation?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, COVID-19 did bring challenges for Sampler as well. I mean, when initially the pandemic hit, we asked ourselves, are consumers going to be okay with receiving packages directly at home? Like we really didn't know in the first weeks how consumers would react. Very quickly, though, we realized that actually receiving the package from the mailman is actually probably the most exciting part of all of our days. And so we quickly realized that we could play a huge responsibility, or we had a huge responsibility during this time. So one of the efforts that Sampler did is we partnered with the large fabric company, and we actually delivered to 2,000 GTA-based members of Sampler enough fabric to create 10 masks for themselves and their family. And that was, leveraging our network of consumers who have sewing machines, and also leveraging the network of logistics that we have already built. So, that's a good example of how, even through hardships, you need to show up and you need to use your superpowers. And our superpower is getting products into consumers' homes.
That is just a great story and a great example, Marie. And, it's funny that you say that about packages, because I know for our family, our absolutely non-negotiable daily trip now is to, our community mailbox, or when the UPS guy shows up at the doorstep, there's joy in the house. So it's a great company. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing Sampler's story with us, and as well as giving us some of your advice for other companies that are aiming to expand their horizons too. Congratulations, Marie.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now we'll turn things back to Paul to introduce our other award winners.
Thank you, Catherine. The Product Innovation Award is close to our hearts. At UPS, our vision for Canada's and the globe's future is one where innovation continues to build products that revolutionize industries beyond borders. Please join me in welcoming the 2020 Product Innovation Award winner for Ontario, Deep Trekker. Deep Trekker is one of the largest underwater remotely operated vehicle manufacturers in the world, delivering high-quality, robust, and portable underwater robots. Their versatility and innovation has allowed them to work from several industries or with several industries such as military and defense, search and rescue, and even shipping. Founded in 2010 with the mission to create portable and affordable robotic inspection tools, the company has grown exponentially. These leaders of the innovation landscape in the Kitchener-Waterloo region have sold over 1,000 units in more than 80 countries and now have an office in Chile to serve their growing Latin American market. Congratulations goes out again to Deep Trekker, and back to you, Catherine.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations to Sam McDonald, the president of Deep Trekker, and I am so delighted to welcome you, Sam. It's a pleasure to have you here tonight.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here with the other Ontario region winners, and we're so excited to be able to share our story with the world and hopefully really inspire other entrepreneurs to do things that we know as good Canadians we can do.
Well, and we're so eager to know more about Deep Trekker's innovation journey. I mean, what an incredible story. You're a manufacturer of underwater robots. And so innovation, we talk so much about innovation in the startup sphere, and that really must be the mantra that keeps your team going. I wonder if you can tell us about Deep Trekker's devices and how they've evolved. They've evolved, I assume, quite a bit since your inception in 2010.
Yeah, thankfully they have. We certainly, we got to market with our very first unit that called the DTG2, stood for Generation 2, Generation 1, being my partner Jeff Watts's college project. So we have come a tremendous way since we built almost 300 systems out of Jeff's basement in my garage. So that product itself is on Generation 3 now, but every part and every aspect of the machine has changed. We went from analog to digital, of course, and now we've added advanced tools and sensors to it. We've also expanded our entire line. We now make 7 different types of robots. So a great example of being able to pivot and move into different areas is the pipe crawler. So we now make pipe crawlers that are used for municipal wastewater sewage. We're up here in Sudbury today, and we're going to be using them in the mining industry. So really a wide variety of applications for the robots, and we'll build our innovations really around the customers' needs and those customers' wants. And we've been able to be very quick to innovate with 17 engineers on our team. They get to take all of the glory. I just get to stand here and accept the award, but really is my team that keeps going.
That element that you mentioned of really being able to adapt to different situations, that's essential when you're a startup and when you're getting going. But you've also managed to take advantage of that adaptability in the current COVID situation, and you've transformed that situation into an opportunity. You've created sanitization robots, I think. They're currently in a prototype phase, but boy, we'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are in a different times than I think I have ever witnessed, and certainly will probably witness for the rest of my life. We have a great platform we call the utility robot, the 640. It's done a number of things. It's done hull inspections where it's magnetic stick to the side of the ship. It's used in potable water tank vacuuming, but it can take a variety of different payloads. And so we thought, well, hey, how can we help in this crisis? What can we do? We could turn to making masks or PPE, but this is really not what we do. We make robots. So this multi-payload robot really presented itself as an opportunity to, hey, let's put on a payload that can help with COVID and certainly disinfecting. So people don't want to enter the confined spaces. They need to be assured that before a human goes in and does the cleaning or uses the space, that it is clean and sanitized. So we've devised 2 different types of robots. One is based on the UVC light technology, and the other is a traditional hydrostatic sprayer. So the idea being that you can remotely operate these vehicles, put them into the space without being close yourself, and ensure that there's a level of sanitization before you introduce humans back into the space. So a wide variety of different industries have shown interest, and we're excited about the possibilities there.
And your products are really quite specialized, and sometimes when a product is hyper specialized, it can face challenges along the way to commercialization, especially at a massive scale. But you don't seem to. Maybe you faced those challenges and just leapt right over them. But what's been your strategy to successfully gain so many of the clients you're talking about, and in dozens of countries with this device?
Yeah, we were international out of the gate. We created a robot that we thought was going to be used by shipwreck hunters like we were. We were inspired by a dropped flashlight in Lake Huron, and we thought that this would be a great tool and toy for folks to go shipwreck hunting like I love to do. We also thought there was some uses in search and rescue, etc. But out of the gate, a Norwegian fish farm company contacted us and said, we use these things and we really like the look of yours, so would you come over to Norway and show us how it was done? And so really getting out of our comfort zone, going to see the customers has been paramount. Whether, in today's world, we're doing a lot of online meetings, we've been able to pivot and do live demos with 5 cameras set up, but really getting in touch with those customers directly and building what they want. You can build something that you think is fantastic, but you might be the only one. So really understanding what the customer need is and being creative on how to solve the problem. Always come back to the problem. Don't try to, push a robot, but listen to the customer and say, what are you trying to achieve? What does your situation look like? And build your innovations on that.
I really think that's some of the most valuable advice ever, because a lot of businesses may think, well, they've got this really terrific product, and it may be fantastic, but if you're not listening to your client and you're not adapting to what they're interested in using your product for, then you're missing an opportunity. So really excellent point. Any other advice that you'd like to give to inspiring and aspiring entrepreneurs in regards to the importance of innovation, especially when you're trying to achieve a sustainable business?
Yeah, the biggest piece of advice is don't rest. There was a point in our early journey where I thought, well, if we would just reach this certain milestone, then we can relax. But you really can't. You have to keep pushing forward. Always be thinking about what is the next innovation, even before you finish the one that you're working on, because there's always going to be someone nipping at your heels. But we in Canada have a great opportunity. We have fantastic education. We have fantastic engineers, and we're really set up to do the manufacturing and exporting that we do, well received around the world. So being in those 90 countries, I've not found one where Canadians are not welcome. So just get out there and do it, and just always be thinking about what's the next challenge you're trying to solve.
That's just terrific. And thank you so much, Sam, for sharing the fascinating story of Deep Trekker with us tonight. Congratulations again on your award.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the sponsors, and thank you, of course, to my partner, Jeff Lotz, and the entire Deep Trekker team. We're very grateful.
Well, we're delighted for all of you. Increasingly, entrepreneurs are blending profit, purpose, and innovation. The CANI Social Innovation Award, presented by Sovereign Insurance, recognizes companies that exhibit excellence in their approach to the environment, ethics, community interaction, and corporate social responsibility. Please join me in welcoming Joanne Yanuziello, the Vice President of Marketing, Human Resources, and Corporate Administration at Sovereign Insurance, and she will be presenting the next award.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to join you all tonight. I'm delighted to represent Sovereign Insurance, the proud co-presenting sponsor of the 2020 CANI Award. At Sovereign Insurance, our belief is that we can make a positive impact in society by supporting entrepreneurs' efforts and sharing their experiences. The 2020 Social Innovation Award is presented to Canada's social entrepreneurs who are building a more sustainable future through innovation in their products, services, and evolved business models. These organizations have shown resilience and demonstrated results in scaling and bringing everyone together to build a better country and a better world. The winner of the Social Innovation Award for the Ontario region is Fill It Forward. Fill It Forward is inspiring the world to reuse. By creating environmentally and socially responsible products and technology, this organization, located in Guelph, is empowering individuals and leading organizations to make worldwide changes. So far, they have partnered with more than 300 organizations globally, funded over 200 clean water projects, and diverted nearly 5 million single-use plastic bottles and paper cups from our landfills, oceans, and waterways. Back to you, Catherine, and congratulations again to Fill It Forward for this recognition.
Thank you so much, Joanne, and welcome, Matt. Congratulations to you and your team on this terrific award.
Oh, great to be here, Catherine. Thank you so much. You know, what an honor it is for us. Yeah, we really appreciate the recognition, for sure.
Well, we're really delighted to know more about your wonderful organization, which is truly doing such good work, not just in the community, but also around the world. And your goal really does seem to be to make a positive environmental impact with Fill It Forward's technology and your products. And you've led the organization to become certified as a B Corporation and participate in the UN Global Compact. These are all really incredibly impressive things. Can you tell us a little bit more about these commitments and why they're important to Fill It Forward?
Yeah, I mean, we started as an organization back in 2012. We started our Fill It Forward initiative. And around that time, we really felt that we wanted to be held to a higher standard. You know, we wanted to be an organization that was doing the right thing, not only for ourselves and our company, but also for the people that we work with, companies that we work with, and the charitable organizations that we support. So we've really worked hard to align ourselves with organizations that think and aspire to the same things that we do. So B Corp is just a great example, and certainly the Global Compact as well.
You know, one of the elements of going into business is often for entrepreneurs that you're also trying to turn a profit. And it'd be really interesting to know from you how Fill It Forward has managed to balance purpose and profit, because clearly the purpose element is really key to why you're doing this. And it'd be also interesting to know how innovation has played a role in your ability to balance the two.
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that we think about quite often. And you know, one of the things that we've been thinking about, or that I've been thinking about a lot, is this idea of innovation and how it's evolved for us as an organization throughout the years. When we first started, it was really about product, and we thought, like many organizations, how can we innovate on our product? How can we create a better reusable experience? How can we create a product that does something that no other product does? And then that thinking evolved to how can we integrate technology, and how can technology play a role in the products that we're creating and the impact that we're having. So we launched an app that connected to our products and a lot of other reusable products as well, allowing you to track your impact and give back. But I think it's our innovation around our giving model that has been the most exciting thing that we've done. And if you had have asked me 7 or 8 years ago that we'd be innovating around giving, that wouldn't have been the part of the plan, but what we discovered is that when we first launched our Fill It Forward initiative in particular, it was based on a very traditional one-for-one model, very much like Tom's Shoes is probably the leader in this space, and a great company doing amazing things for a long time. And in many ways, our Fill It Forward initiative was inspired by the great work that they were doing. But we started to think about what a continuous giving model would look like. What would it look like if every time you drank clean water, you could share that experience with someone else in the world that doesn't have access to clean water? And how impactful would that be? And even within our giving model, there's been a lot of transition and evolution as well. Now we're starting to think about not only the impact we're having for other people when it relates to giving innovation, but what's the impact for the giver? You know, what's that impact look like? What does that moment of generosity look like? And what are the implications of that? And what's the long-term impact of that? So, you know, it's been an evolution. We've learned a ton as an organization as we've gone through this process, but it's been really exciting for us.
You know, one of the things we hear talked about so much in these very challenging times are the ideas of giving and giving back to community, whether that's your local community or your national or your international community as well. But you're facing, you know, following up on what you were just saying about the giving element, some pretty unusual times. How have you transitioned so that what you're doing is really making an impact through your virtual platforms as well? Because, I mean, that must be where the crux of your conversations are going on now with clients and people who are interested in your product.
Yeah, great question. I mean, we, like many businesses, virtually overnight, faced some significant challenges. You know, we were doing a lot in the corporate event space. We were doing a lot in events in general, colleges and universities. We were doing a lot of work in corporate engagement. And overnight, those markets went away. You know, it was a real challenge. So, but what we knew, based on all of our previous experiences, that generosity wasn't going away. And reuse is just a simple act of generosity that can have a lasting impact for people and the planet. And what we also knew was that people needed it now more than ever. So one of the very first things we did very early on, and this was not part of our business model, it was not part of anything that we were really thinking or planning for, was to create a virtual program so people could connect and engage from home. And it would not cost them anything because we know that there's so much uncertainty. So we created a virtual program that supported one of our charitable partners right here in Ontario called Water First. That program was very successful. We just launched another program with another one of our charitable partners called Wine to Water. They're doing incredible work and we're able to support them. And more importantly, people are able to support them from home and stay connected and engaged, which I'm really proud of our team for moving as fast as we did. And not because it was really benefiting us in any way. It was really just trying to connect and engage with people when it was needed most.
We've talked about the for-profit element, but I'd also be really interested in the not-for-profit element too, because so many charities, and you've mentioned a bunch of your partners, are facing really uncertain futures. How are you supporting those charitable partners as well? What are you able to do to, as you yourself try to navigate these difficult times, helping your charitable partners move forward too?
Yeah, another great question. I would say that, you know, we know that the need is greater now more than ever. I mean, for me, I don't know how many times I've washed my hands over the last, 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And we take these things for granted, right? Mm-hmm. And it's our best defense against spreading COVID. And there's many places in the world that's just not an option. You can't wash your hands. And I couldn't imagine, living in those places and having to face that additional challenge. So one of the things that we did again early on around our virtual programming was trying to help our organizations in particular that were working to educate and provide clean hand sanitation and clean water for people in need. So we created this virtual program as an example. But another way that we're able to support these organizations is through education. We now, we're fortunate. We have a large community of organizations that we work with around the world, as well as users that are really passionate about our programming. So we can work to educate as well. And we're trying to drive donations directly back to some of our charitable partners as well, because that's really where the money is going to do the most good, is in their hands. So through education, through programming, and really evolving and innovating our thinking and business model.
If we're looking at the for-profit businesses as well, can you give us some key pieces of advice that you'd want to share with other for-profit organizations that are trying really hard to be environmentally sustainable, and partly because that's what clients are demanding?
They are, right? And I think it's interesting, for us, our thought process, in particular around innovation, which I answered earlier, around giving in particular, has really helped to change the narrative around our programming, and getting that story right and figuring that out has been both a very long process for us, as well as really the way that we're now defined as an organization, and it's changed everything. And I would say that that was inherently who we were when we started this organization, but finding the ability to tell those stories and those meaningful stories has had a tremendous impact. But it wasn't driven around how do we sell more product, how do we sell more of our technology. It was really how do we give more, and the other things have followed, which have been fascinating. And people talk about those things, but it's true. That's exactly what happens.
Where do you go next, Matt? I mean, in this completely unpredictable world, where are you going next?
We don't know. We do know in some ways. We know that things are going to be uncertain for a while, so we're planning for that. We're continuing to work on our processes as an organization. We're continuing to design and develop new products, enhancing our technology. We're staying the course and staying positive and having faith that we're going to get through this, and we're going to be better and stronger when we do. We're staying very healthy. Hopefully, that's the goal, and also optimistic at the same time.
That's really great. It's such a pleasure to chat with you, and congratulations, Matt, to you and your team on this award and for the amazing work that you are doing for our planet. We're really grateful to you.
Thank you, Catherine. We really appreciate the award. We're truly honored and humbled. Thank you.
Now, I want to make sure that you are all tweeting and getting the information out about these awards, because it is a pretty special awards ceremony that we're all a part of virtually here this evening. So our hashtag. Our hashtag is Canny Awards. Tweet early, tweet often, and let's make all of our winners feel the love. And the next category of Canny Awards celebrates youth, Indigenous women, entrepreneurs, those who embody the spirit of Canadian entrepreneurship. The Women Entrepreneur Award is presented to a woman entrepreneur who has impacted Canadian entrepreneurship through exemplary activities and leadership of their companies. As a woman entrepreneur myself, I am particularly excited to welcome the Canny Woman Entrepreneur for the Ontario region, and that woman is Sharon Zohar. Sharon Zohar is a serial entrepreneur and investor with more than 20 years of experience founding, investing, and operating technology and digital media companies. As founder and CEO of The Big Push, an all-woman-led business accelerator, Sharon has developed a unique service for equity business model dedicated to accelerating the growth of women-led startups and preparing them for Series A financing. Big Push's flagship program, Pitch and Pair, has resulted in millions of dollars in professional services being offered by 600 experts that have joined the network in exchange for equity. And I see Sharon is here on the screen with me. I hope you will join me in welcoming her. Sharon Zohar, founder of Big Push. It's so great to have you here. Congratulations on this award, Sharon.
Thanks so much, Catherine. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I'm really honored to receive this award.
Well, it's clearly well-deserved, too, because you're working to not just inspire, but to create active change for women, for people who might be in a more marginalized setting. And so it's just really, really terrific to be able to honor you this way. And I'd be very interested to know what inspired you, Sharon. What was the reason behind your founding of Big Push? And what's the overall purpose of the organization, too?
The reason I started it really was I was inspired by my own story as an entrepreneur, and I was inspired by so many women entrepreneurs who are struggling to build businesses these days, largely because of the systemic barriers we see. There's in terms of raising capital and finding the right networks really to connect and grow the business. So the Big Push came out of that in terms of really trying to level the playing field for women entrepreneurs and providing the resources and capital to really help them prove out their business model. So that's what we do. We really focus on providing them with a network of experts to help them with their experience, to help them get them further down the path towards success, which could look like, additional customer growth or helping them prepare for the next round of financing.
Service for Equity business model is a game changer in the venture capital field, and it's attracted hundreds of experts and entrepreneurs to join the Big Push. Can you tell us a bit more about this model and why it's innovative?
Absolutely. Well, in building the Big Push, it was really important for me to identify a new model in order to really impact change as far as getting women entrepreneurs further down the path and, bridging that funding gap. And the most important element for women entrepreneurs is really to have access to a network of curated, highly professional experts. And in doing so, what we did was ensure that there was a value for value exchange, that the experts would be building out these growth plans in order to provide them greater support, but that value for value was a way to create accountability and success. And in the end of the day, it's really a win-win for everyone and aligns interest in the long term for women-led businesses.
So out of all of this, you were also appointed as a member of the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy Expert Panel in 2019 by the Government of Canada. What is that panel, and what is your role on it, and what does being a part of that panel mean to you?
I was really, truly honored to be part of the panel alongside 6 other incredibly talented women from across the country. Our role was to advise the government in helping them find solutions and identify challenges and opportunities for women entrepreneurs in order to really affect and help women entrepreneurs compete on the global stage and in the end really impact the economic growth of our country as a whole. So as you can imagine, even having a small part in that was incredibly rewarding for us.
One of the things that a lot of us have noted, particularly those of us who are running businesses and still working from home and trying to homeschool our kids and ensure that we don't scare the neighbors when we walk out of the house because we don't have time to take care of ourselves, we're really noticing that women are predominantly impacted here in Canada and around the world by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on what you're seeing and hearing from some of the women entrepreneurs with whom you're interacting in terms of how they're being affected by this pandemic and what kind of message you might have for women entrepreneurs about staying strong as we move forward.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, it's been an incredibly challenging time for everybody, but more especially for women entrepreneurs, largely because of what we talked about in terms of they've already, prior to the crisis, had a lot of difficulties raising capital, finding networks, and really sort of expanding their businesses. But now with this pandemic, things have gone even further back and really more difficult, largely because women tend to be more in the service sector, which is the hardest hit right now. Networking opportunities are obviously much more difficult. It's been a sort of a game changer in that way. And women tend to be more relationship driven than transactional. And so building connections takes a little bit more time than just sort of remote work. So that's been affecting the problem. The other problem, of course, is that women, in the end of the day, do end up taking the lion's share of the homework, the home, and taking care of the children now that schools are closed and camps are closed. So it's been a very difficult balance. But what I would say to women entrepreneurs about their businesses is really just be very mindful of your bottom line, of your budget, cut where you can, try to get through this with as quickly as possible, and really start thinking about what does that comprehensive business plan look like for the next stage. And slowly with your group and your team around you, you'll get through it because we'll all get through it together.
A quick final question, Sharon, in terms of reverting a little bit to your time with the expert panel, what do governments need to do, in your opinion, and other businesses and potential funders for women-led entrepreneurial organizations need to do and to recognize in terms of funding that should go to women that might not be going there right now?
I think they need to listen very, very carefully to what their needs are. They're, giving money and giving, certainly cash is, of course, very important right now, but listening to what their needs are. I've been speaking to a number of women entrepreneurs, and we were offering different things. And I realized after a while that there were some things that they didn't actually need at all, or they didn't even know that they needed. So really identifying, understanding where are their pain points and working towards a solution to help achieve those solutions for them.
That's really wonderful, Sharon. It has been a great pleasure to have the opportunity to talk to you this evening. Thank you very much. And congratulations for the tremendous impact that you are achieving, because you're really making a difference in the lives of businesses and lots of women too. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
In the spirit of the next category, please join me in welcoming Tabitha Bull. Tabitha is Anishinaabe and a proud member of Nipissing First Nation near North Bay, Ontario. She is currently the president and CEO of the Canadian Council for Aboriginal Business, working with Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal businesses to help strengthen a prosperous Indigenous economy and Canadian market. I'm delighted to introduce Tabitha Bull for some brief remarks tonight.
Ani, Buju, Tabitha Indigenous Cost, Nipissing Indigenous Midjasi Dodem. Thank you, Catherine. I'm delighted to be here tonight, joining the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation in recognizing inspiring entrepreneurs from across Canada. It's an honor to be included. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the land I'm on, the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people, of which I am honored and thankful to be one. As the Canadian Council of Aboriginal Business, we recognize entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprises as the force influencing innovation, production, job creation, and economic growth in Canada. By recognizing Ontario's innovation and entrepreneurial leaders, we redefine industry through advancement and pave the way towards successful local, national, and global economies. Thank you to the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation, Startup Canada, and tonight's sponsors in holding this important event. Now is the time to be supporting the excellence in innovation and entrepreneurship. As we navigate these uncharted waters, we must remain optimistic on the impact entrepreneurs and small businesses will have on our future economy. As we slowly move towards economic recovery, the role entrepreneurs play in Canada's new economy and the jobs they create will be paramount. Entrepreneurs need the support of all economic drivers if they are to succeed. They also need our support. We, the consumers, have power in our wallets. We make choices every day about what we're going to eat, who will design our company logo, what coffee to drink. It isn't about spending more money. It's about directing the money you already spend towards a positive impact. Today's consumer stands to benefit by procuring from and investing locally, including from Indigenous businesses who operate in every sector, size, and region in Canada. Congratulations goes out to all the award recipients tonight for their stellar accomplishments. A special congratulations to CCAB member Mark Nawagabo of Birch Bark Coffee, who's being awarded the Indigenous Entrepreneur Award. Thank you, Mark, for your hard work, tenacity, and generosity with proceeds from Birch Bark Coffee helping to eliminate water advisories affecting Indigenous communities across our country. Chimigwech to everyone involved in tonight's event, and congratulations again to all the award winners and for helping to keep our economy strong. Now back to you, Catherine. Thank you again for inviting me tonight.
Thank you so much for being a part of this, Tabitha, and for your support of the CANI Awards this evening. Now, this award recognizes Indigenous entrepreneurs who have impacted entrepreneurship through exemplary activities and leadership of their companies. To present the winner of this category, I would like to invite Jennifer Sloan, Vice President of Public Policy from MasterCard Canada.
Of all the numbers that matter in business, here's the one that matters most. 7.7 billion. Because that's how many people there are on this planet. So every day, we work with banks, merchants, businesses, cities, and governments to solve human needs with human ideas. Every capability we build on, every investment we make, and every partnership we enter into is driven by MasterCard's mission to improve people's lives.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to join you all here this evening. MasterCard is proud to be a national sponsor for the CANI Awards Regional Tour, launched by the Innovators and Entrepreneurs Foundation and powered by Startup Canada. I'm also thrilled that we are now in our 4th year of partnership with Startup Canada. MasterCard shares both organizations' vision for a thriving, entrepreneurial, and innovative nation, and know that supporting the dreams and ambitions of fellow Canadians will build a more prosperous future. As a technology company, we provide the network that connects anyone in the world with a business idea to a potential global customer base. Our technology helps a company go from local to global in a fraction of the time it used to take, empowering entrepreneurs everywhere. This award is presented to an Indigenous entrepreneur who's making waves and impact in their industry. The winner of the Indigenous Entrepreneur Award for the Ontario region is Mark Marsolet Niwagabao, the founder of Birch Bark Coffee. Mark is a Ojibwe and a band member of the Whitefish River First Nation located on Birch Island. He is the founder of the innovative First Nations social enterprise, Birch Bark Coffee Company. Mark is on a mission to change Indigenous lives across Canada, one organic, fair trade coffee bag at a time. The Birch Bark Coffee Company believes that water is a fundamental human right, and their mission is to bring drinking water to every Indigenous home for free in Canada. Mark, again, congratulations on this award. And now, Catherine, back over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for your ongoing support and that of MasterCard Canada to Startup Canada and these Canny Awards. And welcome, Mark. It is great to have you here tonight to share with us your wonderful story about your terrific organization and the powerful social purpose behind it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You know, it'd be great to hear a little bit about what inspired you to create a coffee company that does not only provide organic fair trade coffee, which is something that we hear a lot about and a lot of us are really committed to, but furthermore, you're providing water purifiers for Indigenous families who don't have access to clean water. What got you started down this path?
It was all out of a dream I had, and I didn't really understand the journey, what was about to happen about 2 years ago. And when I created this business, it was purely out of wanting to give back to my communities. And little did I know that coffee was going to be such a powerful platform to be able to get a message across about, awareness and education about the water issues in the communities across Canada.
What do you think it is, excuse me, Mark, that has really captured people's attention and interest in, we all love a cup of coffee, but is it the fact that people feel that they're really making a difference by buying your coffee that you think is also contributing to the tremendous success?
I think that one of the things I look back in my life when I thought about giving back with my children, there was never really an easy way to do that. And I wanted to make it easy for people by providing coffee that they could feel that they were part of something. And buying a cup of coffee at a retail store or a restaurant, or even buying a bag of coffee, allowed them to be able to feel like they were giving back and helping the Indigenous communities.
There's something that it's really an Indigenous inclusion continuum concept of Birch Bark Coffee, and it translates to what you were just talking about, people being able to ensure that there is also clean water available for an Indigenous family. Why was that continuum idea important to you?
When I created that, it was the spectrum was from one end from the actual producers of coffee, and I'm one of 3 companies in all of Canada that carry a certification called SPP, which is small producers. So I'm supporting the small producers in Latin America, Indigenous people that grow the coffee, and women producers of coffee as well, right through to including people that want to give back, and then right through to to the other side of the spectrum where the end result is providing the purifiers to the Indigenous families that are in need. So the inclusivity is pretty much involving everybody.
The other thing that I love is that your company is also inspiring young entrepreneurs to pay it forward.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting your customers to be a part of this, but you're also getting other young entrepreneurs to look at the impact that they can have. Can you tell us about why that's important to your mandate?
Yeah, there's many layers to what Birch Bark's about, and I think that leaving it's like walking in the snow in the wintertime when you have footprints. It's leaving good footprints for people to follow in, and I knew that being Indigenous first of all, and being a role model was going to be important to other aspiring entrepreneurs out there, inspiring them to be able to say, hey, we can do this, anything's possible.
Have you seen that making an impact when you're having conversations with other young entrepreneurs, and the fact that you are a role model? Are you seeing them saying, okay, I had this idea, but I wasn't really going to do anything with it, but I've seen your success and I think I'm going to try, or other stories of that kind?
Yeah, for sure. I've been asked to do a lot of speaking engagements across Ontario and some in Canada, and it's very moving when the individuals come up to you afterwards and say, I'm inspired by you, or I get messages on my emails or my social media saying, you're inspiring me, and not just for entrepreneurs, but in other walks of their lives where their journey, I've impacted them in some way, and it's about gratitude.
Yeah, and also what's nice about that is just that sense that you really are making a difference in someone's life and someone's journey. We are going through a pretty remarkable time in history with the COVID-19 pandemic. Is there any message that you want to share with entrepreneurs, both those who are Indigenous entrepreneurs and the non-Indigenous community, as well as they attempt to chart a path forward with a lot of unpredictability on all sides?
Yeah, it is historically pretty, sometimes lost for words what's going on. And I think that the one message I can give out to people through my self-reflection is just believe in yourself, believe in what your dreams are, and anything's possible. And just hang on to that and just follow the journey that you wish to have.
Okay, and finally, a super important question, Mark. Where can we get Birch Bark coffee bags? I can't even keep track of who's buying the coffee. Okay.
In Ontario, there's a lot of places, but you can go on www.birchbarkcoffeecompany.com, and you can reach out to me and I'll respond. And we have the thanks to Shopify, I have my Shopify website, so it's not too hard to find.
Okay, that's good news, because a lot of us are drinking way more coffee than normal as we sit at home doing our work. So we'll definitely log on. Thank you very much, Mark, for being an inspiration, not only to young entrepreneurs, but to every Canadian that has heard your story of resilience and giving back and paying it forward. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, now the next two awards of tonight's ceremony are awarded to entrepreneurs who, through the leadership of their companies and in the community, have impacted Canadian innovation and entrepreneurship. They represent the next generation of entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurs who have started and grown thriving Canadian businesses. I am thrilled to present tonight the Canny Award Youth Impact Icon for the Ontario region, Brooke Resendez. Brooke Resendez is co-founder of Research Stream, a digital platform and service that connects participants with research opportunities. Research Stream makes it easier for researchers to find the participants they need to hit their recruitment goals, and for participants to discover research opportunities that can better their condition and give back to the community. They have conducted 26 pilot projects with researchers connecting over 900 participants to research studies, and they have a database of 1,650 users and growing, including Queen's University. I hope you will please join me in welcoming Brooke, co-founder of ResearchStream. Congratulations, it's just terrific to have you here.
Thanks so much, Catherine. It's so exciting to receive this award and be recognized alongside some amazing Canadian companies and entrepreneurs.
Well, we are really delighted to have you as the Youth Impact Icon Award recipient this year, Brooke. It's a big achievement, and especially in a time of uncertainty, it's a really remarkable thing. And it'd be great to hear from you about what inspired you to approach science and research with an emphasis on human connection, and talk to us a little bit about how this has been crucial for ResearchStream and their success.
Yeah, so my co-founder, Luke, he had worked at one of the most well-funded research hospitals in Canada when he noticed that the researchers that he was working with were resorting to using flyers on bulletin boards, newspaper ads, and asking their colleagues to participate in their research studies in order to hit their recruitment goals. So he told me about this problem, and at the time I was a computer science student who had experience working in early stage healthcare startups, and we thought that we could build a solution for people like ourselves who wanted to get involved in research studies that was easy to use, because we know that if we want to encourage people to get involved in research in the first place, they need an easy to use platform in order for them to do that.
So that's a really interesting point, and it's also a very innovative approach, as you've outlined, because it encourages individuals who want to donate their time to science, but you're making it relatively easy for them to do so. So how are you going about making it appealing to people who might want to take part?
Mm-hmm. So we know that there's a lot of different reasons why someone might want to get involved in a research study in the first place. They might be part of a specific disease population, and they have a personal stake in getting involved in research studies that could better their own condition and change their lives, or they might want to give back to their communities and earn some compensation. So to cater to all those different types of participants, we make it really easy for participants to digest the information that they'd want to know before getting involved in a research study. So anything from where is this even happening, what's the purpose of the study, where are the results going, and what's the compensation, so that the participants are in the best position to have the information that they need to choose which studies that they want to get involved.
Well, because information is power, right? We've seen that when people feel like they're informed, that they're much more willing to be engaged.
Exactly.
It'd be interesting also to hear about your team and your mentors and how their support has been crucial, not just in these difficult times, but also just getting to this point at all.
Yeah, definitely. So we are a small team. Co-founder Luke, who has background knowledge working in a hospital setting and also creating and implementing HIPAA compliant solutions alongside myself. And then we have someone named Matt, who is a full stack software engineer who helps us build out the platform and new features that researchers and participants want to see fairly quickly. And our team is so fortunate to be supported by several accelerator centers as well as incubator programs in Ontario, including the Biomedical Zone at St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, the Forge in Henderson, the Dun & Dishbande Queen's Innovation Center, and the Office of Partnerships and Innovations in Kingston, Ontario. And this has been crucial for helping us navigate a lot of the different verticals and challenges that we see in the healthcare space when it comes to innovation. And we also have a board of advisors that are actually working themselves in the healthcare industry, ranging from clinical trial research nurses to biotechnology entrepreneurs to patient engagement advisors, so that we have all the information that we need to build a platform that our end users and customers want to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Boy, oh boy. Sometimes I think we forget just how much work goes in to these types of startups and organizations, especially those in the healthcare sector too, where there's so many different elements at play. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you've pivoted, how ResearchStream has pivoted, given the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic? And have you seen yourself evolving down different paths you weren't expecting because of it, or are you just kind of staying the course? What's been the impact for you?
Yeah, so right now, most non-essential research across Canada has been put on pause. And so we've actually pivoted supporting researchers conducting remote research online, where participants can take part from the comfort of their own homes. We actually onboarded 23 remote research studies onto the platform. These are studies conducted by researchers from across Canada, and we've seen over 1,100 people in just a short period of time. So our online participation rate has actually increased by over 1,600% compared to March of last year. So while we are so excited for research to get back and running in person, we've discovered this new channel of online research studies where people can participate from home, and we're going to continue pursuing that opportunity as well.
That's terrific. From great challenges also come great opportunities, and it's great to hear that you're seizing those too. Thank you, Brooke, for being a role model for entrepreneurs of the future, and thank you for being with us today, and congratulations. Just a really remarkable achievement.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and congrats to all the other winners as well.
And now it's time for the final award of the 2020 Canny Awards Ontario region. The final award is the Entrepreneur of the Year Award, and it is presented by Scotiabank. It is awarded to an entrepreneur who has shown exceptional leadership and ongoing impact in Canadian entrepreneurship through their entrepreneurial endeavors. To present the winner, please join me in welcoming Adam Bonnell, who's the Regional Director for Ontario of Small Business Development from Scotiabank.
I'm at the Scotiabank Arena. We are making up to 10,000 meals today for frontline workers and those in need.
In partnership with our friends at Scotiabank, today we're featuring local businesses with Operation Local.
Getting the word out to people has been huge. To have Hot Mess broadcast across the airwaves was a proud moment for us in an otherwise bleak month.
We are using our facilities to make reusable face shields. We're helping to ensure that our healthcare workers are more safe. And we went from making 10 face shields a day to over 300 per day.
Windmill Microlending is helping new Canadians get their domestic credentials. And with Scotiabank support, we're able to get more qualified healthcare workers to the front lines.
Every community has its own challenges. So what's great about supporting the Landing Food Bank is that any donation received has an immediate impact.
At Scotiabank, we're committed to supporting our community for every future, even the most challenging ones. That's why we're helping our community partners navigate today, so they can all have a better and brighter tomorrow.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to join you all tonight. Scotiabank is proud of our partnership with the Canny Awards, presented by the Innovators and Entrepreneurial Foundation and powered by Startup Canada. We share a vision in which entrepreneurs in this country have access to full support and resources for their ideas. We are delighted to be here tonight celebrating entrepreneurial resilience across the country through the first Canny Awards program. We hope you all feel as inspired as we have by these outstanding entrepreneurs here tonight. The Entrepreneur of the Year Award is presented to an individual who has gone above and beyond in achieving growth for their company and made long-lasting impact in Canada's innovation and entrepreneurship community. Entrepreneurs in this category are exemplary Canadians and iconic entrepreneurs leading by an example in every respect. The winner of the Entrepreneur of the Year Award for Ontario Region is Ariel Mashiev, CEO of iLobby. As a serial entrepreneur, Ariel Mashiev was CEO of fintech company ISO Office, acquired in early 2020 by a $5 billion private equity-owned company. Now, through iLobby, he has led the growth of an enterprise visitor management platform that has attracted major government and Fortune 500 clients with a customer retention of 98%. This global leader has become an integral part of day-to-day operations for thousands of clients worldwide and continues to scale at a rapid rate, allowing the company to increasingly benefit its local community. In addition, the iLobby Cares TM initiative gives the entire team the opportunity to volunteer their time to support important causes in the community. And it's in charge of donating a designated portion of revenue from sales to support a variety of nonprofit organizations. Back to you, Catherine, and congratulations again, Ariel Mashiev, for this recognition.
Well, thank you so much, Adam, and welcome, Ariel. Congratulations. We are thrilled to be here celebrating your entrepreneurial journey and to be hearing more about your story. Well done.
Thank you, Catherine, very much. I'm really grateful for this award, and congratulations to all the other winners as well.
Yeah, it's been an exciting evening of celebration, and we're just delighted for you. I'd love to know more about iLobby, and I'd love to know more about the pain point that it solves and what inspired you to build the solution for businesses worldwide, Ariel.
Yes, I think I'll start out by saying what inspires me every day is my team. We have a terrific team in place that works really hard to make everything happen here. And this award, I think, is it's for an individual, but it's really a team award that makes everything happen. What iLobby does on a high level, we're a visitor management platform that we use to track and manage people who come in through facilities. More importantly, we help major organizations with their safety, security, and compliance needs across all their facilities.
One of the neat things about iLobby, and it's incredibly important, I think, to a lot of new organizations and old organizations are trying to pivot to, you've built a work culture that promotes innovation and entrepreneurship within the company. And it'd be great to hear you talk a little bit about how you feel that's translated to the company's remarkable success.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the key elements for the success of iLobby is our work culture. We have a team. We motivate everybody and inspire everybody, and we ask them to inspire us by bringing new ideas to the table. In essence, my strategy is to create entrepreneurs across all the environments we have and all the departments we have, for them to come up with ideas, to implement them, and to feel proud of their own accomplishment. I think when you're able to create such an environment, you get terrific business results because the people that are driving those are extremely motivated. So that's how culture has played. Now that COVID has come into play as well, we've pivoted to a full work from home environment. And I think the fact that we were able to establish such a great culture, this allowed us to transition very smoothly as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that the companies who have a really strong internal culture are finding now as they face this COVID-19 pandemic and the work from home, that they're much more integrated, they're better able to handle the challenges that have been imposed on all of us. Has your organization itself evolved as a result of the pandemic? I mean, I guess I could use the word impacted, but it'd be interesting to hear you talk a little bit about how iLobby has maybe changed its approach because of what we're all facing globally.
Right. So it's a great question, and I think we have been impacted, and but I want to use it in a positive way, because I believe these type of situations, they create an environment where you're able to thrive and where different companies are able to separate themselves. So, we tell our team, if 2 months ago, before the pandemic, having a visitor management platform was a good to have, it's now a must have. And we see all of our clients expanding and new clients coming in, because now everybody must have some type of visitor management process to process people coming into their facilities. We've also right now we had an emergency workflow that we've been able to quickly implement and change up for COVID to respond to COVID as well. We're also working with thermal cameras. So this pandemic has allowed us to really respond very fast, to come through for our customers. And one of the main things I want to highlight is through our iLobby Cares initiative, we've been able to give out about $50,000 worth of iPads to long-term healthcare facilities and to hospitals to help the elderly there as well. So that was one of our greatest achievements throughout this time.
Yes, I always think it's so wonderful to be able to hear the impact that organizations are having, not just in a business sense and in a profit sense, but also in a community sense as well. And that's a clear example of how you're doing both. Now, you talked a little bit about a nice to have versus a need to have, and iLobby has really managed to stand out by building a unique value proposition thanks to its innovative vision. What piece of advice, as we end our conversation, can you give to entrepreneurs in regards to the importance of having an innovative mindset to succeed? You clearly have it, Ariel. What advice do you have for others in terms of having that mindset, especially in challenging times?
So the one thing I'll say is, and I think it's a guiding principle for all entrepreneurs, is you can't be afraid of uncertainty. Number two, it would be a tremendous waste to let this pandemic go without learning something from it or being able to do something. We now know that an office is no longer essential, right? So, and a bunch of different things that don't need to be there anymore. So you got to use this time to understand what can you do to make life easier for people going forward. So that's the way we approach it at iLobby. That's the way anybody who's an aspiring entrepreneur, who is an entrepreneur, to think about this situation. So you can't be afraid of uncertainty. That comes with the territory. And remember, there's no such thing as failure. It's only learning from mistakes, and you get better and better. So you got to keep going, and that's it.
You know what, Ariel, those are really inspiring words to end on. Thank you very much, and congratulations to you and to your team for this exceptional win. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's give a special round of applause to the 8 amazing innovators and entrepreneurs recognized tonight. And don't worry, your neighbors will not think you're crazy because you're clapping all alone in your kitchen. It's all good. They deserve the applause. And thank you all. You are truly an inspiration for all of the entrepreneurs connecting tonight from across Canada. Remember to make some noise on social media too, not just within your own homes with the applause we were just giving. Let's get the hashtag Canny Awards trending across Canada and certainly across Ontario for these particular awards. More than ever, it is crucial for each of us to rally together and champion entrepreneurs and businesses that are the backbone of our economy. It is up to all of us to promote and support the entrepreneurs and innovators, because this is really a time when if we don't stand together, it's easy to fall apart. So in order to stand together, we can help people to thrive in these challenging times. And I hope that you're going to join us to meet more amazing entrepreneurs at the next stop of the Canny Awards digital series. British Columbia is up next on June the 4th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. But thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you have a great evening, everyone.